So here you can see the version 6 user portal on the left and the version 18 on the right. What stands out immediately is how much clearer version 18 looks. There's much less going on visually, and I think that's a deliberate and welcome move from 3CX. They've essentially made the top ribbon more focused and precise, and made the left menu more compact, allowing for more functional space in the middle, a move I think will be welcomed by busy contact center users. So let's take a look in more detail, starting with the top ribbon. The unnecessarily large 3CX logo has been shrunk and moved out of the way in the top right hand corner, and the user icon has been swapped the other way. As part of the top bar tidy up, the active status has been moved into the user menu and a useful little colour block added so you can quickly see which status is currently set. Also, now being in the top left corner is where your eye is going to be naturally drawn. You'll see that the search bar from version 16 has disappeared. In reality, this simply duplicated search functions found elsewhere, so it's no surprise that it was deemed surplus to requirements. The device toggle found on the top bar in version 16 has been moved into the dial pad for version 18. Perhaps a little more inconvenient, but this isn't an option that users will change regularly in a day, so it shouldn't slow you up too much. The dial pad itself just has a few slight changes in layout. A good addition for version 18 is that the QR code used to set up your other 3CX devices has been made more accessible. This was previously buried in the user menu and will make provisioning of new devices much simpler. Also a benefit for initial setup is the user guide moving to a more visible position, so it can be referred to more easily while new users get used to the system. In version 18, the additional Chrome plugin is no longer required, so that space has been cleared up and replaced by a simpler and less obtrusive prompt to download the Windows app instead. With version 18, 3CX also now enables direct integration with Microsoft Teams for calling, so perhaps this is why the Windows app is being emphasized. As you can see, People has now become Team, and the Groups submenu has been moved over to the right-hand side, freeing up an entire column of new space. I also assume that if you have your address book loaded into version 18, which we don't in this demo version, you'll be able to search for contacts in here, since the contacts option is no longer on the menu. Chat is still chat, but again, the submenu items have been moved over to the right to create space. This space has then been used to make scrolling between chats easier, rather than having to open a new screen as in version 16. The slightly confusing new chat icons from version 16 have also, thankfully, been replaced, and the button moved to a more convenient location. Call history is now just calls and is plainer and less colourful, but I think clearer and easier to understand, and again, the submenu moved to a toggle to create space. Voicemail is pretty much the same, but has been moved into a submenu. I don't mind this, as most people use voicemail to email, meaning the voicemail screen itself isn't used as much. Another consolidation is to move scheduled conference and web meeting into a single screen called Meet. When you click into Meet, you'll be greeted by the Join Now button for an instant conference. The plus gives you the option to schedule your conference, and the next option is where your scheduled conferences will be. Switchboard has been renamed Panel for a reason that's not entirely clear, but once again, the submenu moves over to the right to create more usable space. Settings has had a few additions. The password reset and user image options have been moved into general settings from the user drop-down menu. Thankfully, for a system built to unify your business communications, the chat and audio-video settings are now easier to access instead of being hidden in submenus. In fact, the personalized menu has effectively been done away with, and its contents moved into the main bar. Status view is now simply View, and the active calls section has been moved in here. Status is now the new and more logical name for call forwarding, and BLF settings is now just BLF. The integration option has been removed, but this was always more of an admin kind of feature anyway, so this makes sense. And finally, instead of rooting around in your user menu to see what apps are available to you, an easy-to-find Apps menu has been added to the bottom. So overall, a few functional changes, but mainly a clearer, cleaner design. We may have lost some of the colour, but I think what we've gained is an interface that will be much easier to use day in, day out. But what do you think? Will any of the new features be useful for you? Do you prefer the new layout? Or do you wish they'd just left it well alone? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe,